smokes it a lot.
There's always the smoking as well for people that can't afford anymore, want to try quit, like vapes, for example.
It's not coming out, because otherwise, unless you like make sure yeah.
Okay, for those that are on Zoom, we'll just do the questions in the room first, and then we'll come to you after that. Go ahead.
John, obviously a long day for your attack. Any injuries, or is everyone okay?
Oh, I think there's, obviously Ben has hurt himself on the field today. He didn't bowl full pace at the back end of the day. I think our medical guys will just assess him overnight and see how he is. Other than that, the guys are okay.
John, if you had to just mark your bowlers today, especially Robinson and Wood, there were moments where they looked really good, but they also at some points, do you think they could have bowled a little fuller, just if you could just mark that?
I think overall there was some really good stuff. The guys did there was some really positive stuff came out of the day. We showed that we can take wickets. Yeah, I think if you're being critical, you'd probably say that we could be a lot more consistent over the course of the day, and there was periods where the Australians got on top of us. We're obviously frustrated to miss some opportunities that were out there today. However, I thought the guys showed a lot of heart, a lot of courage, and a lot of passion playing for the country to keep going as well as they did throughout the day. They kept coming. You saw Mark Wood there and Chris Roach charging in with the second new ball, and they kept coming hard all the way through. So I thought there was a lot of positive stuff out there today.
Especially Ollie Robinson's been a lot of hype around him, and see how he goes in these conditions. Do you think he just came in and really started getting what he had to do?
Yeah, I thought he bowled really well. I thought he threatened all the way through. Every time he got the ball in his hand, he looked a threat, and I think the Australian batsman found him hard to play.
Just on Ollie, obviously came off a little bit towards the end of the session. Was that just a little bit of treatment for just a bit of fatigue, or was nothing else going on?
Nothing going on with Ollie, as far as I know. But I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow if he's all right.
Just on a lot of you guys, sort of the first time really bowling a long stint in Australian conditions. Do you think that they managed that well, or do you think that the fatigue played a role in that last session there?
Well, I think our preparation probably played a part in the last session there. But it is what it is. Similar for both sides. And everyone knows we had a lot of rain up here in Brisbane. We had an amazing amount of time on our feet. We've had 2 warm-up games, a lot of time rained off. So we didn't have the ideal preparation at all. But it is what it is, and we have to get on with it. And our guys have got to. And I know our guys will actually front up again tomorrow. There's a lot of character and fight in our dressing room. And I know they've been in some pretty sticky situations before, and they've come through all right. So I know the guys will dust themselves down tonight, and they'll come back strong tomorrow.
Okay, we'll go Mel Farrell in the room, and then we'll head to Zoom. Go ahead, Mel.
John, obviously you can have a bad day with the bat anytime. What does it take out of them, though, having such a difficult day just on day 2 of this, and the amount of miles are now in the legs of, especially someone like Mark Wood?
Well, Mark's in pretty good condition, as you saw at the end of play there. He was still bowling pretty quickly. So I wouldn't worry too much about Mark. I think he's in a good space. He came in from playing in the World Cup, so he was bowling at high intensity over there. So I'm pretty confident that Mark will be fine.
And I know, talking about the spinner, but how did you make it, or what did you make of the day that Jack Leach has had? It was a pretty difficult one for him, especially once Travis Head got going.
Yeah, it wouldn't be one of his best days, Jack, or one of his better days, one that he'd want to put at the back of his memory. But like I said about the other guys, I know that Jack's a pretty resilient fella. So, and it's only day 2 in the Test match. We're definitely not defeated yet, and there's a lot of cricket to be played. So I'd expect Jack to come back strong again tomorrow and show the character that I know he has.
Thanks, Mel. Okay, we'll go to James Cole from Sky Sports News on Zoom. Go ahead, James.
Hi, John. You got a couple of seamers struggling. Jack Leach, as you say, has gone for a lot of runs. Has the selection of this bowling attack?
Just checking we can hear you, actually.
Wrong here.
Can you repeat the question, James? The volume was down here. Sorry about that.
Can you hear me now?
Just hold on. We'll try again. We'll have to mute it rather.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. We can just about hear you.
Sorry, John, I'm just saying, have you got the selection of this bowling attack wrong, do you think? Are you a seamer light?
No, I don't think so. I think when we looked at the pitch on the day before the game, on the morning of the game, we decided to go with the makeup of the team that we had, so that we have, and that was what we felt was the right decision at the time. And I think if we'd all bowled to the best of our ability, we would have put Australia under a bit more pressure than they were today. However, we still took 7 Australian wickets today. We are a bit behind in the game. However, like I said to the guys before, I know that the guys will come back fighting over the next 3 days.
And is it likely that Ben Stokes is going to be able to bowl his full allocation now?
I don't know. I don't know. Ben will be assessed overnight by the medical team, and we'll see how he pulls up in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
No
Okay, let's go Rory Dollard and then John Etheridge, please.
Hi, John. I'm not sure if you answered on this earlier, but just on the no ball situation, with the no balls not being called, was that a situation you were well aware of coming into the innings today?
What do you mean by well aware of?
Well, did you understand that they weren't going to be monitored by the third umpire?
Yes.
Is that satisfactory, or did you have to change anything with that knowledge? Obviously, Ben bowled 14 in the first session.
Say that again, sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
We didn't get the last bit there, Rory.
I'm just saying, does that make life difficult when you're used to being called by the third umpire? Because Ben obviously overstepped a lot before he then got the wicket.
I'm watching TV.
Yeah. What a fast bowler needs is some sort of understanding of where his feet are, because obviously you can't see your own feet. So if the umpires are watching the line, then after the first ball, that's Ben's first ball on this ground for I think probably 8 years. And we don't have like in England we have bowl throughs in the morning, and you don't have them here in Australia. You don't bowl through on the square. So it'll be the first time he's run up from that end for 8 years. So he'll need some feedback from the umpires to understand where his feet are, but then to make an adjustment. So if you don't know where your feet are, it's very hard to make an adjustment. So yeah, it would have been nice for the first no ball of his first ball to be called as a no ball. So he would then have made an adjustment, and then from then on he would have been behind the line because he then knows where his feet are landing.
Let's go with John, and then we'll finish with Dean. One each, please. It's just difficult to hear here.
John, hi. I was actually going to ask about the no balls and whether Ben would have been able to adjust if he'd known he was getting close to the line. You say physically he's going to be assessed overnight. Do you know exactly what the problem is with Ben? His knee, maybe?
No, I haven't spoken to our medical guys. So Ben's been out on the field. He's come off. He'll get some treatment as he comes off, and I've come straight in here to speak to you guys. So I've no idea what the matter is with Ben at the moment. But like I said, he'll get assessed overnight, and we'll see where he's at.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks.
And Dean, last question, please.
It's kind of to do with the no balls as well. Did you just kind of get a sense that things are kind of conspiring against you at the moment? Obviously, 2 very difficult days, changing conditions, and the weather and things like that. I know you don't want to be too defeatist, of course, but luck does play a big part. Do you kind of feel like things are conspiring against you at the moment?
No, I think it's more down to skill than luck. I think we understand the game of cricket, and we understand how conditions change, and you have to adapt to the conditions that are put in front of you. And so on both days, Australia may have got the better of the conditions, but there's still 3 days left in this Test match, and we've got some very, very fine cricketers in the England cricket team, and I'm sure, like I said before, we're going to come back strong tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay, we're done. Thank you very much, everyone. Catch you tomorrow. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
No problem. Thanks. Cheers.
Basically, is Jones been doing this for so many years.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining us. Travis Head, Century Maker today on this day of the Ashes Test. As always, guys, we'll go to the floor first, and then we'll head over to Zoom. We've probably got about 10 minutes or so because before our cars leave, so we'll get underway.
Travis, congratulations on a terrific knock. You had plenty of intent and energy from the moment you got out there. Was that your plan? And can you just tell us what you were thinking, given where you came into the match in England on just a little bit of a run there for a while?
Yeah, it was just about being as clear as I possibly could. They started extremely well. The couple of sets there that Ollie Robinson bowled were quite difficult, and I felt the wicket was a little bit there. They got a little bit of run. It's about staying nice and calm. It was nice to have Alex at the other end, batted a lot with him. So calm, consistent plans, really relaxed, and just felt like trying to take a bit of momentum out of the game. And if the ball was presented to score, try and score really. The guys that have played positively throughout the game have played at the best. I think there's been quite a bit there for the bowlers throughout the game. So it was just trying to gain a bit of momentum back, and then once we gained that, trying to take advantage of it.
And I mean, there was plenty of chat about your selection and, you know, whether you'd be in the team. What does it mean to you now you've made that an Ashes century in Brisbane? I mean, I'm guessing it's a terrific moment in your career.
Yeah, it's still pinching myself sort of thing. Like I can't quite work out what quite transpired over the last couple of hours, but I want to contribute to Australia, and Australia wins, and hopefully we'll put ourselves in a nice position. Tomorrow morning's important again to continue another great day for Australia, and that's what I'm here to do. I was really relaxed throughout the game. Paddy, coaching staff, been fantastic in the way they've handled the last sort of 6 and 7 days, and how they wanted to see me play or go about it. And they just want to be themselves and play the game and play how I see it, and have got great confidence in that. And I was really relaxed over the last 2 days. I've said that going into camp, it's so enjoyable to be around this group again and contribute in some little way. And look, today it went my way, but a lot of work was done by the top order. I thought they batted exceptionally well to set that day up to make it possible to do what I was able to do.
Because you've seen a couple of knocks in the Shield and the March Cup game as well, and today, like, is it kind of a feel thing for you when you get a couple of those early boundaries when you almost feel like it's happening, and then you just start playing a few more shots?
No, I think, I guess what's been spoken about, I felt like that a little bit, where I've got a couple of scores quite quickly, and then I missed out a couple of times. So I think my technique and my composure at the crease, and I was really relaxed today. I'm just trying to take that moment in. Now, yeah, I got opportunities to present myself to score, and I was able to take them today and put pressure back on bowlers at certain periods. But I felt like at moments they bowled really well, and I took some chances as well along the way. Definitely at the back end into the new ball. But I feel like I gave myself a great opportunity. I felt like my technique's in really great space. Technically, mentally, I feel like really composed, really relaxed in the environment. It's a huge environment. They come extremely hard today. So to be able to be in that moment is a great feeling. I'm not always guaranteed runs. I know that. And that was the same today. I found the first 20 runs really, really tough. The game opened up a little bit. I was able to take my opportunity. That's not going to happen all the time, but I put myself in that position, which is pleasing.
And just on a personal note, like, the mock was really working for you, getting a lot of runs, and like, was it just the test match? Maybe
it's the mo. No, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to fit my hat on. To be honest, there was too much hair going on, and I would have looked quite ridiculous. So I needed a haircut for a few weeks. I was pretty lazy. I'm pretty lazy on how my appearance, and sometimes. And we had a Shield game one day, flew up here, and we got in the camp. So I left it pretty late to get a haircut, but yeah, I'll get one in 6 months' time again.
Travis, Pat, by the time Pat came out with that, you were flying. What was the discussion between you two at that point?
It was just if the opportunity presented itself, really. We were really relaxed out there. A couple of, I guess, our KPIs that we wanted to tick off, we were talking about, and giving ourselves the opportunity to score runs if they presented. We want to put them under pressure. I think with the team, the way we played throughout the day, we're able to put guys under pressure. And then, yeah, it was important a little period into that new ball to ride that wave, I guess, and try to score, but also they gained all the momentum back in that period. So it was an important stage, but it was really enjoyable batting Pat.
Travis, you spoke before the test about the relaxation thing and how you were feeling coming into it, and the relaxation being out there. It was incredibly emotional when you actually reached the century. Was there anything else in there? Was there still a little bit of like relief or something that sparked that emotion?
I'm not sure whether I just off the cusp, I guess. I think emotion of being in a great position, playing for my country, loving it, just enjoying it. So I wouldn't read too much into it. It just comes out how it does, and yeah, I'm representing my country and I'm loving doing it. So it's an amazing feeling to get a Test match 100. I think I said at the start, just as it happened, like I couldn't believe quite what was going on, and yeah, it definitely fell my way at moments today. I definitely rode my luck in parts, but all in all, I was able to put Australia in a great position, and that's what I'm here to do, and very privileged to be able to do that.
And you talk about that great position. You had discussions about really being ruthless, being in a position now to try and grind England down early on in the series.
I think that's both camps would have been talking about that for the last 10 days and what they wanted to try and achieve. We spoke about it as a batting group going into the test that in Australia, we see a lot bigger scores trying to keep them out in the field. It was extremely hot over the last 2 days. There's some difficult conditions, so there's no doubt that both camps would have liked to do that as they bat. They're going to try and do that in the second innings when they play as well. So yeah, it's about going out. We haven't really talked about it. We'll talk about it in the morning, but I think it's pretty obvious what we would like to do is continue to bat really well, try and bat as long as possibly can, and get ourselves in a great position.
Travis, a bit of a scary moment there late in the day. Talk us through the beam ball and what was going through your head. Like, did you totally lose it? When did you pick the ball up, and how are you feeling now?
I seen it pretty much the whole way. So, yeah, lucky to get a bit of hand on it. I think my hand took most of the blow. I think I was a little bit surprised with anything, but after a couple of seconds, I knew I was fine, and Woody was good about it as well. And obviously, it doesn't mean to do it. I was expecting it to swing in, but I was expecting it to bounce and swing back. But these things happen. It was obviously accidental. Yeah, we've spoken about it. He's cool. I'm cool about it. We move on. So, fortunately, I'm fine. So, no stress.
Trav, Davey and Marnus, as soon as Jack Leach came on, they seemed to show a lot of positive intent. You did the same thing towards him. Was it something you definitely were trying to sort of target and get on top of him?
We spoke about being positive against the spin, with it being hot. We want obviously the bowlers to come back as much as we possibly can. So yeah, we were brave today. I felt like for some of the positions that we're in and the way we were able to take him on. Again, we had earned the right. The guys have batted extremely well and earned the right to in their right moments to take him on. And I think the tempo and the balanced nature that they did that in was fantastic. Marnus got out doing it. I know he's disappointed, but I felt like it set the tone for the series. It's not always going to be like that. We know that there's moments that he's going to bowl extremely well and he's going to be important for him. But I guess at the GABBA, when we traditionally know that it's hard against the quicks to try and get them as back as possible, quick as possible, when it's not spinning as much. And as the game develops, he'll come into the game a little bit more. But I know the group is really proud of the way that the guys set the tone at the start of the day.
Thanks, guys. We'll go to Zoom. We've got Ben Horn.
Hey, Travis. Yeah, mate, good news you were okay from the blow to the chin, but yeah, how's your arm too? You had to take the painkiller for that hit as well?
Yeah, unfortunately, a little back elbow. So, Woody bowled it very aggressive today. We knew that how it was going to come. Unfortunately, yeah, copped a little one, but fine. I'll look after it tonight as much as I can. Back elbow probably helps a little bit more. Well, it depends how you look at it, because I'm quite bottom heavy sometimes, and today was the case. But probably helps me a little bit being top hand, and yeah, don't try to use the bottom hand as much. So look after it tonight, but I'm fine, which is nice.
Yeah, there's no concern of a fracture or anything?
No, I think it was concerned at the start where it hit me, but it's not a great place to be hit. We've seen Mohamed Shami get hit a couple of years ago in the same sort of place, but it was a little bit higher and sort of got fortunate that, yeah, it got me in a nice spot. It's obviously not comfortable, but we move on, but structurally no issue, which is fine. Move on.
A couple more here, guys. Andrew Ramsey.
Trav, congrats. I know you spoke earlier about you placing a lot of Ollie Robinson in the nets at Sussex, and he was on a bit of a roll when you got out there. Was that a bit of a double-edged sword that you know what was coming, but they had a pretty clear plan to you?
Yeah, well, I think he's seen me play, so he definitely come with a plan. He knew how he wanted to attack me, and executed that extremely well in my first sort of 20 balls. Found it very difficult, and vice versa. I knew where Ollie was going to come, and didn't expect anything less in the way he bowled. So he was fantastic. He kept coming back for them today, and he bowled well in periods and put us under a lot of pressure. And I wasn't surprised going out and facing that and how difficult that was at the end of the day there. So. I know that he's going to come back tomorrow. Him, Wokes, with the new ball, and Woody was at bowled a high pace and put us under pressure as well. So it's going to be an important morning against those three.
Last one, guys. James Cole from Sky.
Hi, Ben Stokes is struggling with a knee injury, and Ollie Robinson had some cramp, and you look like you took advantage. Generally speaking, do you sense you've got England on the ropes here?
No, I wouldn't say on the ropes. We've had 2 great days, and in Australia, I guess you want to keep guys out there as long as possible. We know that they'll come back tomorrow. Both of those guys we're talking about are highly competitive, highly tough cricketers, and we've seen it time and time again. With Stokesy, we've seen it, and I've seen it personally with Ollie Robinson for Sussex, how he's been able to come back, and then his short test career about coming back and playing in high aggression and being at us the whole time. And I've got no surprise that they'll come back tomorrow fresher and stronger and try and put us under pressure again. So not on the ropes. We've had 2 really good days. We've got to earn and right again tomorrow. It's a long series and continue, I guess, the momentum that we have currently and then try not to let that go.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We'll catch you all tomorrow.